Hey, nice to see you back. Now, Trish, did you hear about the girl that brought lipstick and eyeshadow to class?
Wait, what's wrong with that? I take that stuff everywhere I go.
You're messing with my punchline, Trish. You're supposed to say, no, why? And then I say, because she heard there was a makeup exam.
Then I know an artist who's actually ready for the test. Destry Davis at Glamor Artz.
I get people ready back in the holding tank or the green rooms, and then I get to go and watch them on the monitor and make sure I'm watching the details. And I feel like, you know, when I go home or I'm on the treadmill and I get to see the finished product on the television, it's just rewarding for me. Well, my mom was a cosmetologist since I was 5, so I was pretty much brought up in the industry, so been around it forever. My mom did hair in the home and then went to salons, and I would kind of do the finishing touches to her clients when she did work in the home, and that's kind of where I fell in love with kind of transformations and the outcome of the beginning to the end, and I think I just fell in love with it. Didn't really know it until later in life. And it starts with color palette and, you know, enhancing the features of their face versus, you know, them not knowing where to, you know, put colors. And because I don't let them look while I'm doing the makeup because they would tear it apart, not understanding the process. So I basically just tell them to look out the window at the studio and not look at the mirror, which is a wall of mirrors, which you kind of figure out who is controlling at that point because they want to make sure that they're looking at every aspect of every second. And I just tell them it's not about them until I'm done, it's about me. When they're done, they look in the mirror, and most of the time, 95% of the time, they love it. They say that doesn't look like me, which it does, it's just an enhanced version of them. When I started this business, it started with selling tanning units to salons and spas, and going into homes and doing tanning parties, and then it went into makeup, which is what I'd already done years ago, but I just kind of added that to what I was doing. And then, you know, I started in film and just kind of asked how I could keep doing that, because it really was about being a team player with a bunch of crew and then styling people, you know, so my dad always taught me to have plan A, B, and C, and so I just kept adding to what I felt like my gifts and talents were. 5 or 6 years ago, I always said I wanted to, you know, be more in film production than the brides. I mean, I love the brides, but I've worked weekends for 10 years straight, so I kind of want to change that up a little bit. Production, as you know, is pretty much through the week, so that's my long-term goal. And I have a makeup line that I'm kind of pursuing as far as getting that into more places than my own studio, so that's kind of a future dream of mine. In film, I feel like they're at my mercy, and it's kind of the opposite with a bride. They feel like that's their big day, they're entitled, and sometimes that entitlement mentality changes the whole end result. You know, a model will sit in my chair or talent, and in film, they're like, do whatever you need to do for the film, and it's just total opposite for a bride. Well, I think for me, the gratification comes with leaving a lasting impression, and, you know, the outer beauty is a very shallow thing, you know, so I get to know people from the inside out and get to make a difference in how they feel about themselves. It's a laughing joke. I'm not a stargazer. I worked on August Osage, just assisting my friend that does craft service and feeding George Clooney and working with a lot of VIP people. I've always worked with those kind of people, so I feel like humbly, I really don't look at any one thing differently than the other. I just love what I do. So at the end of the day, it's just I go home and have fun at what I do.